This is the annual car show of the Vermont Automobile Enthusiasts at the fabulous Shelburne Museum. Excellent venue for a car show.
It's a unique place and a beautiful spot to spend an afternoon. So I think it's a great spot to have something like this.
Vermont Automobile Enthusiasts started back in 1953 when several of us who were interested in old cars got together to celebrate one fellow's birthday. The event has been ongoing for a number of years. I can't tell you offhand just how many, but 10 or 12 years. Sort of a look into the past, and automobiles have been such an important part of our society that it's sort of interesting, I think, for most people to get a glimpse of what happened back years ago.
The mission of the organization is basically to promote the enjoyment of old cars and to encourage people to come out to shows like this and enjoy the cars and restore them. We have so many classes that I think we have 40 classes of cars, and it's really hard to tell you any one specific place. We try to sort of lump things together in terms of generations of cars.
I know people will buy particular cars because maybe it's what they had when they was a kid, but that's not my attraction. It's just I like the style of the Nova, I like the style of the car, and that's why I chose to do this Nova.
Well, you know, when you're young, you can't afford a lot of these cars, and then you work all your life, you raise your family, and now you're thinking of, oh, when I was younger, I wish I had this convertible, I wish I had that car, and now they can do it, and I think it's a very healthy thing.
Since 1913, Stevens Duryea, which I've owned since 1946. I've never restored it, but we run it quite a bit just as is, and it seems to go well, and it's a pleasure to drive.
Whether it's 57 Chevy, 55, 56 Chevy, things like that, there's certain cars that just never seem to die because they have a certain beauty about them.
A friend of mine in school had a similar car, and it's just a car I had in high school, and so I think that's what you find a lot in this hobby, trying to get back to your youth a little bit.
This is a Jaguar. It's a very famous Jaguar XK120. It was the first car that Jaguar made that had its own engine in it. I bought it because I have a passion for driving, and it is one of the best driving cars in the world. It'll go 120 miles an hour. That's where it got its name.
People are saying, why would somebody put $20,000 into an old 56 Chevy? And I said, well, you know, it's because it's part of the past. You can't build any new ones like that, and so that's what you do, is you take the past and you bring it up to date as much as you can and make it as beautiful as you can.
This has really been a very big family project with my son and his wife and my husband and I. They have spent, you know, every evening hours on this car, and they do include us once in a while.
My wife has a car also, and on hers is Mrs., so when we go together it's Mr. and Mrs., so it's not because of anything other than that.
A lot of women have been very active over the years. We have one woman who about 10 years ago participated in the Great Race that goes all the way across the country from Massachusetts, I think, out to California. We have quite a few husband and wife teams, and I think the people that are the most active in our club are actually the people that are a team. The husband and wife both come to meetings, they both have cars. And that's one of the things that our club is working hard to promote, is to get younger people involved in the club. A number of the guys here have their grandsons and granddaughters.
It's very interesting. Since my husband and I have two convertibles, we have noticed that it's the older, quote, 40 and above that are in these convertibles. It's not the young kids. You go out with this car and you can't help but get noticed, and you can't help but talk about it. And people ask you questions about it, and you feel young when you're doing this.
Driving this car makes me a teenager. It's like going back into history every time I get in it.